I am shocked by the way the people that we have been in business with are treating us. I cannot believe it, quite frankly. How far apart we are on so many things. How they plead poverty, that they're losing money left and right when giving hundreds of millions of dollars to their CEOs. It is disgusting. Shame on them. They stand on the wrong side of history.
Just hours from now, Hollywood actors are hitting the picket line to strike. They ask for better wages, health benefits, and guardrails against artificial intelligence. But contract negotiations officially failed. They joined thousands of writers who walked off the job in May, effectively shutting down all of Hollywood. We should note that Comcast, the corporation that owns NBC Universal, is one of the entertainment companies represented by the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. With that, I want to bring in my old friend, CNBC media reporter Alex Sherman. Alex, this is the first time both have been on strike at the same time since the 1960s.
By the way, trivia question. Do you know who the SAG president was in 1960?
Who?
Ronald Reagan.
Get out of town.
Yeah.
Look at you, Alex, bringing a little politics
tonight. I'm here.
How did we get here?
So this is what is going on right now with the Hollywood strike is like a microcosm of American business. I will try not to get wonky with you, but I will take you on a small little journey here.
Let's go.
For 20 years or so, this system worked great, right? People generally watch TV on cable TV. 100 million households subscribe to cable. Very profitable model. The media company's very happy. Box office, movies, that's how the movie business gets paid. The financial crisis hits. We go into a low interest rate environment. Investors start looking for growth stocks. When interest rates are low, that's typically where the investor markets go. Netflix starts to get all of these subscribers, and suddenly
the golden age of streaming
starts, and investors love it with this low interest rate environment. So they start pouring into Netflix, and the legacy media companies say, well, wait a second, Netflix is not only is their valuation high, they're starting to get all this money in their coffers, and they're now outspending us on content, or at least spending requisite to us. We need to transition our businesses to be more like Netflix. So that happens 2019, 2020. And for a little while, it seems to work. But then what happens? Well, interest rates start to creep up, and the growth at Netflix last year stops. And so Netflix plummets, and with Netflix plummeting in valuation, all the legacy media companies plummet too. The problem is they're 10 years behind Netflix on streaming. So Netflix now finally has a business that makes money. But Comcast and Disney and Warner Bros. Discovery and Paramount are now stuck in a model that still doesn't make any money. And that's where we are today.
So when we're saying these big companies are being greedy, they won't pay their actors, they won't pay their writers a living wage, the actors and writers have a good argument to make. Nothing was adjusted when we went to a streaming world, and they are not being paid fairly how they used to be, right?
That's the other side of this coin, right? So the media companies are now saying, look, we're not making any money on streaming, actually. You need to be aware of the realities of the situation you're in. But the writers and the actors are saying, we're getting paid on the old model. We haven't had a new contract here that makes up for the fact that all of these people now are watching on streaming. So we want to get paid in a way where we can somehow figure out if all these people are watching my show on streaming, I get paid the requisite amount for that. And right now, that system doesn't exist. So it's a very reasonable argument that they're making. The other side of the coin, though, is that if the media companies finally say, you know what, fine, we'll pay you what you want. What's going to happen? I bet you what's going to happen is the cost of your streaming service is going to go up. So from a consumer standpoint, even though you may want to cheer for the writers,
it's the classic. We want wages to go up, but as soon as they go up, that big fat company says, where am I going to get the money from? The consumer.
They're certainly not going to eat the cost and just watch their value just keep tanking on Wall Street. They're going to have to come up with some new ways to make money.
I am not saying that the media industry is in crisis, but is it fair to say it is in deep decline? Bob Iger just said this week that for the first time, Disney would consider selling off their TV assets, right? He said that those who are striking are being unreasonable. Whether he's right or wrong, it's a serious statement for the head of Disney to say, maybe we don't need TV anymore, linear TV.
Yeah, I mean, it was the heart of the business. He also said they're looking for a strategic partner in ESPN, which has long been the crown jewel of Disney. So if you kind of read between the lines here, what you're seeing is a company that used to make all of its money in one way, kind of saying, you know what? We're tossing in the flag here, we're raising the white flag and saying, we're not going to make this money this way anymore, and we need to adjust for realities. Skeptics would say he should have done this 5 years ago, but now at least he's finally saying, you know what, we have to figure out some way forward so that we're not anchored as a legacy media company and we don't have the growth that, say, a Netflix has.
But he's unwilling to say, let me negotiate and find a way to pay these people more money. But this week, he found a way to extend his own contract. Doesn't that make it more difficult, at least for appearances, for those who aren't making any money? They're on the picket line, and he's making millions and millions saying, guys, we don't have the money.
It's not great optics. I mean, and it's not just him, by the way. David Zaslav also makes a ton of money as a media CEO. Media CEOs have long made tens of millions of dollars. It used to make more sense, potentially, when they had this old traditional model that just spewed cash everywhere. Now they have a streaming business that is losing money, may finally break even in 2024, but the media company CEOs are still getting paid tens of millions of dollars. So it's a legitimate point, I think, from the writers and the actors saying, look, this thing is out of whack here. We're just trying to have a meal. You know, we're just trying to have rent here. And meanwhile, you're saying we're unreasonable, but you're making $25 million a year.
It's just as you started this segment. This is a microcosm of what is happening to business and small businesses and industries across this country. The rich are getting richer. The poor are getting poorer with technology advancing and driving right through.
Exactly. We didn't even talk about AI, which is one of the big issues here, but certainly that needs to be considered as well. Actors and writers don't want their likenesses used, so they can just be replicated, and then they don't even have to get paid on that. So that's a part of the discussion as well.
And this discussion is not ending. Hopefully, contract negotiations won't either. Alex Sherman, great to see you. Thank you.